Okay. Try it again. Repeat and repeat. Let me see. There we go. Repeat and repeat. Okay. Earlier in the day, I made a little video about my opinion about a couple of the Republican presidential candidates. And in my previous tape, I got one of the fellows' names wrong. And a moment ago, when I tried to do it again, I couldn't remember the second fellow's name. So just no accounting for ignorance, I guess. Anyway, my two subjects this evening will be Rick Santorum and Ron Paul. Now, Ron Paul, earlier in the day, I called him Tom Paul. And if you're going to criticize a guy, you at least ought to get his name right. So I'll go after Ron Paul first. A good friend of mine. He's a really big Ron Paul fan. And I have found that in younger generation folks, Ron has a lot of rabid people that really support him. One of the biggest objections that folks seem to have to Obamacare is that there's a portion of it that would mandate, legislate, demand that they buy insurance. Now, I know there's a lot of people out right now that have jobs that, they don't have money to buy insurance if it was a penny. But under the new, soon-to-be Obamacare, it will be part of it that under most circumstances, if you're employed and you're making a living, you will be required to have insurance. And my understanding is that there will be provisions in there to help people of different wage levels and economic levels. But it'll still be a requirement. And boy, this has ticked some people off. I mean, where does the government get off telling me that I, have to have insurance? It's my right. If I don't want to have it, nobody should require it. Well, the premise is that there are a lot of people out there right now that, for lack of a better way, are living on socialized medicine because if they get sick or have an accident, they just go down to the emergency room, plead poverty, and they get their care for free. If they end up in a ongoing custodial problem or, or some kind of chronic ongoing problem where they need a lot of treatment over a period of time, they get that for free. Never pay for it. That's not socialized medicine. I'll kiss your butt. Well, Ron Paul apparently thinks that, this system that we're under now, where a portion of the population, they just go to the emergency room and get it, he thinks that's just fine. The government shouldn't be allowed to require these people to buy insurance. So naturally they like him. There are a lot of other reasons they like him, but that's the issue we'll deal with right now as far as Ron Paul's concerned. Say, for example, you get hit by a bus. Really tore up. You're not dead, but you're tore up. Well, you don't have insurance? No sweat. The system will take care of you. Taxpayers will pay it, and you can walk away and never pay a dime. And Ron Paul thinks that this is just fine. In fact, in one of the debates, I'll give you Ron Paul's attitude if you don't have insurance. If you were under his system and you were in a emergency room and you didn't have insurance, what would happen? Would the caregivers take care of you? They asked Ron Paul this in one of the debates, and his answer was, let them die. Isn't that charitable? I mean, that's not even as good as what we got now, you know. They don't let them die. They'll take care of them and, you know, absorb the cost. Ron Paul said, let them die. Can't even imagine anybody having an attitude like that. Anyway, for though that and a number of other reasons, which I'll try to go into over a period of time, and in fact, I don't like Ron Paul at all. I think he's scary. Now, Rick Santorum. Rick, for several years, was a representative from the state of Pennsylvania in the Congress. I think he was in the House. I believe he was. And the good people of Pennsylvania sent him home. Somebody else from his own party ran against him and beat him. And he was, you know, he had to go sell shoes or lobby or whatever it was he did after that. What do you do when you're a congressman and you get voted out? Well, you just run for president. That's what you do. And that's what he's doing. Now, night before last, on the ABC Evening News, I heard a little something about Rick Santorum that I thought possibly had quite a bit to do with why the folks from Pennsylvania sent him home. Some years ago, in the 90s, mid-96, 97, 98, the Santorums had a child. And it died about 2 hours after it was born. And they took the dead child home and slept with it. And had the rest of the children bond with it. I don't know exactly, but that was the language they used on TV. And they kept the thing around the house for a couple of days. There's something wrong with that. I mean, there's a few bricks short of a load, is I think the way they put it sometimes. Nobody does that. That is strange. Now, there might be folks out there in the world that think that was really a blessed thing to do, but most people just kind of draw up and shiver and say, God, what were they thinking about? I have to assume that Rick's got some reasonably serious emotional problems. And I certainly don't, this is my opinion. He might be as level-headed and straight as they come, but that's just my opinion. And I can't even imagine folks voting for him for president knowing that he's of the mentality that he takes a dead child home and sleeps with it. Something strange about that. So, if you're contemplating either Ron Paul or Rick Santorum, give some thought to some of the things that I believe they're factual. What I said on both gentlemen are factual. So give it some thought before you go into go into a voting booth and vote for these guys. Don't vote for me.